What's going on, guys? Fitz here, and today I'll share my non-elemental destroyer build. That's what I like to call it because you literally just destroy everything. This is more of a hunter than a rider build. This build focuses on using weapon skills and not rely on your monsties. You don't even need to use your kinship skill. Our main weapon is a non-elemental Greatsword. If that's your thing, then let's go. The Greatsword is my favorite weapon in Monster Hunter Stories 2. It deals massive damage, it's easy to use, and it has very cool animations. The only thing that I really want the devs to add is a 2-charge single target skill. But even without that, this build will deal serious damage, even higher than most non-powered kinship skills. This is my current equipment set. I'll discuss the important skills later. Let's just go over the items first. Our main weapon is the Massacre Slicer Greatsword. You build it from the Bloodbath Diablos materials. It has the highest non-elemental damage among all the Greatswords in the game. Even though we will mainly use a Greatsword, you should still carry a non-elemental piercing weapon and a blunt weapon. My piercing non-elemental weapon of choice is the Grimclaw Bow, made from the Grimclaw Tigrex materials. And my blunt non-elemental weapon of choice is the Grimclaw Hammer, also made from the Grimclaw Tigrex materials. The armor that I'm using is the Basil armor. I've also used the Bloodbath armor for a very long time, and I did several testing on both. And I'll show you the results later. Last but not least, my talisman is a Showdown XL and Critical XL. To use the Greatsword to its full potential, you need to use skills. You only use normal attacks to gain some kinship charge, so you can use the Greatsword skills. Your Greatsword has 2 blocks of charge gauge. To charge one block, use one of the charge tackle skills. If you're fighting one enemy, then you can spend a charge to execute a charge/attack. You can charge the second block by executing a charge cut skill. Once you have 2 charges, you can use a true wide slash skill to hit multiple enemies. I have actually tested 4 armors for this build: the Bloodbath armor, Basil, Nergigante, and the Golden armor. The armor to use will depend on the talisman that you have. Since I have a Showdown and Critical talisman, then I won't be using the Nergigante or the Golden armor. If you have the same talisman as I do, then you can either use the Basil or the Bloodbath armor. Both are very good for this build. The Basil armor will give you a slightly higher skill damage, but your defense will be slightly lower. If you need more survivability, then you can use the Bloodbath armor. You'll have higher raw attack, but the skill's damage will be lower. However, you will have high evasion and that tenacity skill. Now, let's talk about the important skills that make this build work. The Showdown XL and Critical XL talisman will give you the Vicious skill, which seriously increases your head-to-head damage and greatly increases your critical rate. Let's see that in action. In the first clip, you will see that the head-to-head damage is 933 using a charge tackle P on the body part. In the second clip, there was no head-to-head attack, but we used the same move on the same part, and we only dealt 578 damage. The Basil armor gives you the All-Out XL skill. This is the main reason to use this armor instead of the Bloodbath armor. This will seriously increase your skill power while spending more kinship charge. It also has a non-elemental attack boost medium, which boosts your non-elemental attack by a good amount. And last but not least, the Critical Kinship Large. This will make your kinship gauge fill up fast, so you can use your skills often. And also critical hits will fill up the kinship gauge faster. In the first clip, I was using the Basil armor, while in the second one, I used the Bloodbath armor. As you can see, the damage difference is not very high. But if you fight a monster over several rounds, and survivability is not really an issue, then I think the Basil armor has the edge. I'll try other talisman and armor combinations in the future. I'm looking for a breaker and a showdown talisman, a weak part and breaker, or something that I can use with the Nergigante armor. For now, I'm very satisfied with this build and I had a lot of fun playing it. What's your favorite build? Would you like to see more build videos in the future? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing so you'll get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.